Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? The gist of it is that the tiniest thing can have a sort of ripple effect. So for example, the wings of a butterfly, when they flap, could start a hurricane. So the question is, how do you have your own butterfly effect? Now I know in a lot of videos I tend to kind of, I don't know, like almost seem like I'm shitting on social media, or that people are bad, or that, you know, what you're doing is wrong or something along those lines. But this is exactly the opposite. This is social media how it's meant to be. You, as the social media user, actually have a lot of power. It may not feel like it, but the power is pretty substantial. Think about the issues that are going on today. We have support for Black Lives Matter. We have support for LGBT communities. We have support for minority communities as a whole, in general, right? We're having discussions day in and day out about how to name football teams and what's okay and what's not okay when it comes to creating jokes or creating content. Now, I know a lot of people, including myself, kind of have a little bit of an issue with the idea of cancel culture as a whole. But, you know, honestly, it's one of those situations where the pendulum just happens to be swinging in this certain direction. Normally though, the pendulum kind of goes towards the middle, and that's what I'm kind of hoping will end up happening here. See, there are things that we need to be, as a whole, discussing and talking about, and that's where your brand really comes in. Your brand needs to be reflective of what you truly believe in, not just because you want to make a few sales, but because that is a way to help differentiate yourself versus another. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to be going all in all sorts of political correctness. It doesn't mean that you necessarily need to say, if you aren't blank, or if you don't vote for blank, then never come this way. But there should be a hill that you're willing to kind of die on. So as an example, I'll give you a really good one, right? Let's say someone like Lush. Lush is a beauty company. They create bath bombs and soap and lotions and mint and toothpaste. They have a ton of followers, and they have a ton of people who absolutely love them and will refuse to buy anything that's not from them. And part of the reason why, of course, is because of their actual message. It's what they are trying to put out there into the world. They talk about being vegan. They talk about the idea of no animals being tested, or there were no cruelty. They talk about no byproducts that are artificially constructed that are going to hurt you or harm you. They really went into this idea of this all natural yet really nice smelling bathroom product. So my challenge for you is to find what you're passionate about that is also contextually reflective of your brand, and make that a shining example. Let's just use jewelry, for example. Let's say you are adamant about not using blood diamonds. Or I'll tell you what, another great example, because I tend to use jewelry quite a bit, is t-shirts or rugs. For, you know, like, let's say you create some amazing rugs. Well, you get your rugs manufactured or sourced through, let's say, India. But in this one particular circumstance, you're not going to the lowest bidder. You're not going to where people are possibly, you know, being chained to the walls and forced to create rugs. You are saying, hey, I don't do that. The factory that I work with, or the people that I work with, are paid a living wage. They're happy to work there. Here's a video proof. Here's pictures. Here's this. Here's that. Like, if you're able to get that sort of information and present it to your customer and make it a pillar of what you stand on, then you truly have something special. And by putting that in your message, you are in fact creating that butterfly effect. Why? Because the idea that one person finds your product and says, wow, I didn't realize that this was a problem. I didn't realize that this was an issue. It's an issue with brand awareness, but it's not just about your brand, it's about the problem that your brand is solving. And that's the whole gist of the butterfly effect. If you are able to tell somebody, hey, your water is being poisoned and you don't even know it, suddenly, ding, 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 it's going off in their head, and they're going like, what do you mean my water's being poisoned? You show them the video, it shows people lighting, you know, water faucets on fire, or showcasing all the sediments and minerals and metals and prescription medication that can be found in your water. By doing that, you now have one person that says, holy crap, I didn't realize this was an issue. Now that person can be a small cog in the overall wheel, where you are adamant and you are passionate about solving this water crisis purification problem, this person can be a customer and you help them and in turn kind of help their health, which in turn can help them live longer. If this is a really nice person, maybe that one person that lived longer was also able to donate more, help in food kitchens. Maybe they just helped this little old lady cross the street, and this little old lady just happened to be the grandmother of somebody that she's taking care of, and then that person is going to end up becoming the Nobel Prize winner and cure all disease. It could be as simple as that. And I know the idea or the notion that is it that simple is obviously not necessarily true. However, the overall message is the same. Your brand and what it solves is important. You do need to believe in it. You do need to make it a pillar of the kind of content you put out. And you do need to truly believe that you're not just helping somebody save a little time or a little effort, but that you and your brand can help change lives. Well, that's it, everyone. This was Julio with Copy Identity. If you have anything you want to talk about, feel free to comment, DM us. I always love chatting with y'all. I really appreciate you. I love you. If you could also do me a favor, check out www.copyidentity.com if you're interested in learning more about us, or if you wanted to talk about some of the coaching aspects that we have, that's www.copyidentity.com/coaching. It was great talking to you today. I hope I was able to give you something to kind of mull over. Subscribe, like, follow, all that stuff. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you later.